Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's What's Up Wednesday, where we are going live with you on Facebook and LinkedIn every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time throughout the summer to talk about our upcoming 23rd Annual International Human Trafficking and Social Justice Conference, hosted virtually this year on September 23rd through the 25th. My name is Anna Schramm. I am the organizer of this amazing conference, working alongside Dr. Celia Williamson, based in Toledo, Ohio. And I have a special guest on with me today. We have Katie Green, who is a licensed master social worker, certified advanced alcohol and drug counselor, and a clinically certified human trafficking victim service provider. So, hi, Katie. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Anna. So excited to be here today.
Yes, awesome. So today we are going to be focusing on our direct service presentations at the conference. So last week I talked about our art related presentations at the conference, and I've mentioned that we are a very diverse conference. We have a lot of different presenters from different professions and a lot of different topics that people can learn about. One of them being our direct service presentations and direct service in the anti-trafficking and social justice fields. But before we get too much into that, Katie, would you please introduce yourself to us? Tell us a little bit more about yourself and the work that you do.
Thank you, Anna. Well, I am really excited to be here and part of this amazing community. I know I'm going to talk a little bit later some of my why. First of all, I am a survivor of human trafficking. It's been over 21 years since my experience, and during that time, I've had a lot of recovery. And then I've had a lot of work on the education piece. I really think that education is so important because when I got out of the lifestyle, I reached out for help and nobody knew about human trafficking. What a gap. And matter of fact, I was told someone would pray for me. And trust me, that is not what I needed at the time. I needed treatment. I needed help. I needed community, something that Dr. Celia Williamson talks about all the time. I needed support, and I did not have that. So I have dedicated now my life to providing education and providing direct services to those who experience human trafficking and the aftermath with trauma treatment. Not only am I a survivor, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a master gardener, and in my free time, I'm also an educator. I work at Grand Valley State University in their social work program, teaching classes on anti human trafficking and domestic violence, intimate partner violence. That's in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm also a national HEAL trafficking trainer. I am a World Without Exploitation Stand Fellow, part of number 3 cohort. I work on multiple survivor advisory boards, including Three Strands Global Foundation, our local West Michigan Human Trafficking Coalition. I'm also appointed by the governor of state of Michigan to be the Vice Michigan Human Trafficking Commission chair. Lots I could go on and go on. I've provided over 234 human trafficking related trauma trainings internationally and nationally. So, International Human Trafficking Social Justice Conference is just one of my near and dear conferences to attend and present at.
Wow, that is a lot of hats that you wear. I don't know how you have any time to be a master gardener. That is amazing work that you do, and I think an inspiration to a lot of people. To you noticed a gap in services, and you have dedicated and worked to help fill that gap. So you mentioned some of the things or some of the hats that you wear, but direct service is sounds very broad to some people. It can mean a lot of different things. So can you explain, who are some of these professionals who are considered direct service workers? What do they do? And like, what is the importance of having direct service in the social justice and anti-trafficking work?
Absolutely. I think some of the direct services are our peer supports and victim service advocates. They are the individuals who work on the front lines with those as a drop-in center, homeless shelter. There are also the counselors, the therapists, the psychologists, and social workers that provide counseling services to survivors of human trafficking. There are also maybe the SANE nurses or that work with the sexual assault nurse examinations. There are also the child protective services agents that work with coming into the home for children and that may be experiencing labor, sex trafficking, or have experienced. They are the foster care parents that provide housing. It is also the housing service providers that could provide either shelter, transitional housing, or long term services. So, to me, those are direct services. And the way that I provide the direct service is through advocacy and direct treatment through mental health.
Yeah, that's amazing. I feel like there's a lot of different areas. I love the diversity of direct service. I have a social work background, and that's part of the reason I went into social work is because I think you can do a lot of different
Mhm.
things and fill a lot of different needs through that work. And so basically anybody who's doing that direct service with, a client or an individual needing that. So yeah, thank you for that explanation. And you have been involved with our conference for several years now. So tell us a little bit about your experience with our conference and why you keep coming back.
Yes, I've had an amazing experience. I think what it does is it really opens doors and connections. I have learned so much. We have over 100 presentations each year. That's just amazing. Anna, I don't know how you do this, coordinating all of these presenters. I've had great experiences. I've taken advantage of some of the skills and learning that is used for public speaking. I have also taken advantage of any kind of in services that Dr. Celia Williamson does for teaching on how to be the best presenter, especially with public speaking, making great presentations. I keep coming back because I want to be a part of this movement as much as possible. It is about sharing resources. I have something that I can teach you. You have something that you may be able to teach me. And with that, I've continued to evolve and really become more of an individual who's not working in silos, working in a community to tackle the same problem, ending human trafficking.
Yeah, I think that's so important, that collective movement together and learning from each other and not just thinking that, we have all the right answers, but learning from different people, different professionals, lived experience experts. And I think that's, what this conference is able to bring together through all of that. So, and all of the great presentations that we have. And you are actually presenting at the conference this year. Your session is titled Advanced Trauma Treatment with Male Survivors of Human Trafficking. So I know you're going to be covering a lot of amazing information at that session, but can you give our listeners a little preview into what you're going to be talking about?
Actually, I got this idea from listening in last year to the
Oh, wow.
international conference and really helping understand some of the trauma treatment gaps with male survivors.
Mm-hmm.
Because according to the most recent global statistics with UNIDOC, human trafficking indicates that men and boys represent 40% of the total number of human trafficking victims. You would never realize that. Most people have these preconceived notions that it's all women or that
Mm-hmm.
human trafficking victims don't affect males as well. And this is an enormous challenge to both therapists and healthcare providers because they are not looking for that perfect human trafficking victim. And I say that in quotes. That
Mm-hmm.
many clinicians have limited experience addressing trauma and trauma related symptoms in male trafficking survivors and mostly influenced by myths, masculinity scripts, shame, and non disclosure that really affects those who are males being impacted by human trafficking. So I have recently published Trauma Treatment for Human Trafficking Survivors for Mental Health and Substance Use Disorders through my consulting business. It's called KTP Empowerment. You can reach it at www.ktpempowerment.org. And I have a toolkit and online training course, different resources for those who work in mental health and substance use disorder professions. And it's for effectively supporting a tailored approach, and I call it a phased approach to trauma treatment with mental health. It is practical strategies. It provides my personal and professional experience. It's by interviewing other survivors, and it really focuses on alternative therapeutic approaches tailored to the unique needs of survivors. And with this upcoming session that I'm doing, treating male survivors, I'm going to take that phase approach and then deepen more of the unique insights into male community. And hopefully it helps understand more of the trauma, challenge common misconceptions, explore survivor centered therapy practices when working with individuals who are male who have experienced human trafficking. And I'm really excited to introduce the phased approach to trauma treatment again. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think that's going to be an amazing session. Even from just listening to you right now for a couple minutes, I feel like I've already learned some things, excited to learn more. And I love that you're focusing on male survivors because, as you've mentioned, they do make up a large portion of victims, but they are often forgotten, overlooked, not really included in services or in funding for those services. So I think it's really important that we continue to talk about it, shed light on it, and provide services for male survivors. So if anybody listening is wanting to hear more from Katie about her presentation, make sure that you are registered for our conference. Our website is trafficking.com/register. So I do want to highlight a couple of the other direct service related presentations that people could attend at our conference. So as Katie mentioned too, we have a lot of sessions at the conference. We have over 110 breakout sessions over those 3 days. There is so much that you can learn, listen to, connect with. Because there's a lot to choose from, our sessions are also recorded. So you have the ability to watch those for up to 3 weeks after the conference. So you can check out what you missed if you weren't able to attend live. I think it's also great for people who are trying to balance busy work or life schedules, or since we are an international conference, people in different time zones as well. So just make sure that you register, then you can get access to all of those presentations. But some of the ones that I want to highlight today are, first, we have Kathleen Arnold and Lindsay Gray, who are going to be presenting on From Missed to Identified: Micro and Macro Strategies to Transform Human Trafficking Identification. Then Marie Fitzpatrick and Crystal Self will be talking about Surviving the Systems Meant to Help: How to Stop Shooting the Wounded. Next, Alexandria Lazayan will be presenting on From Trauma to Trust: Navigating Familial Trafficking Within the Foster System. And then we have Liberty Sarkar, who will be talking about From Policy to Practice: Applying Best Practices in Residential and Community-Based Anti-Trafficking Services. So those are going to be some great sessions. There'll be several other sessions covering direct service topics. We also have, like I mentioned, a variety of sessions that you can choose from. All our full schedule is up on our website, so you can look at that now, check out our full schedule, and look at the sessions you want to attend. So that can be found on our website, traffickingconference.com/schedule. So, Katie, is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap up today?
Absolutely. I think it's so important to try to attend as many as you can live presentations. But if you
Mhm.
can't, the recorded presentations are great. I encourage everybody when they're watching a presentation to engage in the chat with the presenters. Also, encourage you to reach out to each of the presenters. We all love to share the knowledge that we have experienced and to collaborate further to end human trafficking. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you, Katie. I think those are great points. There's a wealth of resources and knowledge that are at this conference. So, even though it's virtual and you may feel like you're not able to network or collaborate as easily, we really do try to provide as many resources and ways to do that, whether that's connecting in the chat or our conference web app has different ways that people can connect with each other. So, yeah, thank you for those reminders and people just really taking advantage of, the connections and the networking that can happen. So I appreciate you being on today. Thank you so much for joining us for today's What's Up Wednesday. As a reminder to everyone, we are joining you live on Facebook and LinkedIn every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time throughout the summer leading up to the conference. So we will continue to highlight the different presentations that you can attend and the topics that you can learn about. Next week, I will be joined by two special guests, Erin Mernon and Gwen Jackson, to talk about our legal and law enforcement presentations. So if you want to learn about anything that we talked about today, any of the schedule, how to register, anything about our conference, just go to our website, traffickingconference.com. You can find it all on there. So we look forward to seeing you back here next week. Thank you again, Katie. And I hope everybody has a great rest of their day. Bye, everyone.